Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors' goal is to sign players and build a strong roster for the season, and they're currently interested in 4 players who will strengthen the roster. The players the Warriors want in San Francisco are Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Gary Payton II, and potentially Seth Curry. NBA training camps open on September 29, and yet, the Golden State Warriors remain the only team in the NBA not to have added any new faces to their roster. It's been heavily reported that multiple veteran free agents are waiting for the Warriors to resolve Jonathan Kuminga's restricted free agency before inking their own deals. Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Gary Payton II, and potentially Seth Curry are all waiting in the wings. Unfortunately, until that quartet signs on the dotted line, they're unable to participate in any unofficial workouts at the team's practice facility. Furthermore, their opportunity to get situated in the Bay Area and prepare for training camp is being significantly hindered. NBC Sports Bay Area's Dalton Johnson discussed this issue during a recent episode of the Dubs Talk podcast. They have it theoretically, you know the 9 guys, you know who the others are, but they're not in camp right now, Poole noted. They can't be part of the off-season workout program that's going on at the training center. The Warriors are fortunate that the veteran quartet has remained patient. They could have sought out similar deals elsewhere in the NBA at any point this summer. Therefore, their looming presence is another reason why Golden State must continue searching for a resolution over the current Kuminga situation. Sooner or later, the Warriors will welcome a new group of players to the roster. All of the incoming talent should help improve Steve Kerr's rotation and help build toward a contending-level team. However, until the Kuminga situation is resolved, the Warriors will struggle to focus on the upcoming season, and that's where the bigger problem lies. Suns reportedly included Royce O'Neal in Jonathan Kuminga's sign-and-trade offer. The Warriors had an opportunity to trade one of their young players for a proven, sharpshooting wing this offseason, but opted not to. Golden State, while fielding sign-and-trade offers for restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga this summer, rejected an offer from the Phoenix Suns that included veteran forward Royce O'Neal and second-round compensation, ESPN's Shams Charania and Anthony Slater reported in a story on Monday, citing sources. The Warriors reportedly also turned down an offer from the Sacramento Kings that included guard Malik Monk and a future first-round pick. The 32-year-old O'Neal, who signed with the Utah Jazz as an undrafted free agent in 2017 after playing 2 years overseas, spent 5 seasons in Utah before he was traded to the Brooklyn Nets in 2022 and later the Suns in February 2024. In 8 seasons, O'Neal has averaged 7.1 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game on 42.6% shooting from the field and an impressive 38.5% from three-point range in 26.2 minutes per game. While Kuminga's ceiling and potentially his current floor undoubtedly is higher than O'Neal's, the veteran forward could have provided Golden State a reliable sharpshooter and defender off the bench had the Warriors accepted the Suns' offer. Instead, Golden State since has halted all sign-and-trade discussions with interested teams, and it appears the Warriors and Kuminga ultimately will have to settle for a temporary solution that keeps the young forward under contract at least for the 2025-26 NBA season. After worst sales pitch, Sacramento Kings told Jonathan Kuminga he could do what he can't in Golden State. Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors continue to be far apart on a potential agreement. ESPN's Shams Charania and Anthony Slater stated that the Warriors recently bumped their offer up to 3 years, $75.2 million, from 2 years, $45 million, but want the final year to be a team option. But Kuminga's camp reportedly won't take a team option unless the annual figure is closer to $30 million. They would go as low as $20 million annually, only if they get a player option in the final year of Kuminga's deal. Since the ongoing contract negotiations, the Warriors have been reluctant to part ways with Kuminga in sign-and-trade scenarios with the Sacramento Kings. Steve Kerr makes underwhelming sales pitch to Jonathan Kuminga's agent Aaron Turner, "I can't play this guy big minutes." It seems like the Warriors don't want to lock up Kuminga long-term, but they also don't want him to potentially go somewhere else and thrive, which has created a bizarre situation. Kuminga's agent Aaron Turner spoke about the latest contract negotiations Kuminga has had with the Warriors on the Steiny and Guru show, and he said Steve Kerr made one of the worst pitches in the history of basketball. The last point where we ended with Steve Kerr was, "I can't play this guy big minutes with what I have now. I don't think that can't evolve or can't change, but that's where we are right now, until we see differently." That's got to be the worst sales pitch to a $20+ million free agent in the history of basketball. Sacramento Kings assistant general manager B.J. Armstrong told Jonathan Kuminga, "We want you to be you and to play your game." Meanwhile, there have been teams like the Kings who are fond of Kuminga. The Kings seem to be motivated to add Kuminga to pair with Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis. They have also said all the right things, according to Turner. JK is clearly the guy that needs to sacrifice here for this to work. Okay, so that's fine. He's passing up opportunities where they are saying, BJ Armstrong, Kings assistant GM, made a strong comment to JK like, "We want you to be you." Quinton Post has made a perfect realization every Warriors fan wanted to hear. Hopefully we see a noticeable improvement. Quinton Post's rookie season with the Golden State Warriors was incredibly impressive. Yet a rougher period during the playoffs certainly left the young center with a variety of improvements in which to make going forward. Fortunately, the 25-year-old has realized exactly what those improvements need to be, raising optimism of another step forward for Post in year 2 despite the likely addition of veteran center Al Horford in free agency. Quinton Post has outlined exactly what Warriors fans wanted to hear. Speaking recently in an interview with Joseph Dicus of Mercury News, Post labeled his defense as a major point of emphasis during what's been a busy summer preparing for his sophomore season. "A big part for next year is guarding without fouling. I fouled too much, especially in situations where it wasn't necessary, where I could just use my size to wall up and make guys take hard shots," Post said. The numbers certainly speak for themselves when it comes to Post's foul-prone rookie year, having averaged 4.4 per 36 minutes, which ranked only behind the now-departed Kevin Looney of any Warrior player to make at least 6 appearances. Post's inability to deter shots at the rim was also a frustrating element at times for fans, having allowed opponents to shoot 57.4% from within 6 feet last season. For context, Looney allowed 51.3% and Draymond Green 54.4% despite their common height disadvantages. Post also added that his own finishing in the paint and finding teammates while on the roll were also major areas he's been working on, something that's bound to become all the more important as defenses begin to gameplan for his immense shooting ability. The 7-foot big man's efficiency during the playoffs was a big concern, playing a large role in his decrease from 16.3 to 12.2 minutes per game. While his three-point percentage fell from a team-high 40.8% to 31.3% in the playoffs, it was his 38.5% shooting from less than 10 feet that was perhaps more problematic. Post doesn't even need to become great in these areas to prove a long-term NBA player, rather he just needs to make them solid enough where it's not a liability and a reason for Steve Kerr to pull him off the floor. The addition of Horford is expected to rule out any hope Post has of opening the season as Golden State's starting center, but the 39-year-old's advanced age and experience should still allow the former 52nd overall pick plenty of opportunity to develop his game and showcase these key improvements that could determine his career. The man responsible for the Warriors' miserable offseason. Late last month, Jonathan Kuminga's agent managed to sum up a summer of agita for Warriors fans with just a few keystrokes. It's not clear why Aaron Turner, an 11-year veteran NBA agent, decided that July 23 was a good time to end a months-long posting hiatus. His previous 3 posts on X were an updated profile picture and tagging X users for NFT whitelists, but on that random Wednesday, he posted a response to another post that mentioned his client. The post that caught Turner's attention called into question a report that Kuminga was offered a 5-year, $150 million contract. "No1 on our side was turning down $30 million a year," the agent's post read. "Our camp is smarter than that. Narrative makes no sense, twisted up Slater's words I think. #fake news." When another user in the thread said Kuminga needs to fire his out-of-touch advisors, Turner responded with, "You have no idea what we want or what we have asked for. Here's what the public does have some idea about. For weeks now, Kuminga and the Warriors have been in a negotiating stalemate with no end. Because of Kuminga's status as a restricted free agent, Golden State is locked into roster-building limbo and remains the only NBA team to not make a single move this offseason. Until they know what the fifth-year wing's salary will be, the Dubs can't be certain they can afford their presumed free agent signings of Al Horford and D'Anthony Melton. It's clear that Kuminga is in favor of this approach, but Turner has been behind him the whole way. However, the agent's approach has been questionable to say the least. Even if Turner is correct that Kuminga was never offered a $30 million salary, the fact that random speculation on Twitter about a misconstrued rumor garnered a Trumpian social media post in the midst of a huge negotiation has some problematic optics. The multiple posts would perhaps look better if the negotiating tactics weren't suspect as well. According to several reports, the Warriors have a 2-year, $45 million offer on the table to Kuminga, with a team option for the second year and a demand to waive a no-trade clause in order to sign it. The 22-year-old's biggest leverage play against the team is taking the qualifying offer from Golden State, locking him into a 1-year, $7.9 million contract with a no-trade clause that will almost certainly result in him signing with another team the following season. It's clear which path Kuminga wants, according to a report from ESPN's Anthony Slater on Monday. The Warriors have not upped their offer, and Kuminga has indicated to those close to him that the $7.9 million qualifying offer is more appealing to him than the Warriors' current pitch, Slater wrote. While taking the qualifying offer does hamper the Warriors' ability to build for next season, and is why the Warriors are offering him more money in order to waive the clause, picking that path sure looks like a case of cutting off one's nose to spite their face. Kuminga and his camp are willing to sacrifice tens of millions of dollars of guaranteed money today for a bigger payday next year that could easily be derailed, either through a catastrophic injury or the more likely scenario of Kuminga maintaining his middling at best position in Steve Kerr's rotation. The frequently discussed cautionary tale is Nerlens Noel, who passed on a $70 million deal from the Mavericks in restricted free agency, took the qualifying offer instead, tore a ligament in his right hand during the 2017-18 season and would go on to make a little over $27.1 million for the remainder of his career. Noel would later sue his agent over this decision. Then there's the website for Virtus Basketball, the agency where Aaron Turner works as president of basketball. The issues range from small mistakes like the link to Terry Rozier's Instagram page directing to his old username, GMB_Chum12, not to mention the fact that their flagship client is, at the very least, involved in a gambling investigation by the U.S. government. There are sloppier mistakes too, like an image of former Wizards forward J.T. Thor linking to a profile page of Derrick Jones Jr., who switched his representation to Clutch Sports last summer. If the goal of an agency site is to showcase what the organization has done and is capable of doing, this is doing the opposite of that. It's now been 2 weeks since any substantial updates regarding these negotiations have popped up. According to Slater, the 22-year-old's ideal contract is one that would signify a commitment to him as a future building block for the Warriors or elsewhere, rather than one that would be easier to trade mid-season. It may very well be that some team in the NBA will want to have a player of Kuminga's caliber on their roster as a future building block, but whether that organization also wants to commit to the representation in Kuminga's corner, one that comes with the baggage of loose Twitter fingers and grinding a team's entire offseason to a halt, is perhaps the bigger question. 3 possible outcomes for Jonathan Kuminga, Warriors saga revealed. Golden State Warriors power forward Jonathan Kuminga's restricted free agency is suddenly jeopardizing their roster building. More news: why Warriors-Kings trade involving Jonathan Kuminga didn't happen. The 6'8" pro, 22, has yet to agree to a new deal with the team, despite Golden State allegedly increasing its initial offer from a 2-season, $45 million contract, with a team option in year 2, to a 3-season, $75.2 million agreement, per Shams Charania of ESPN. There'd be a team option in the final year of the deal, meaning that only 2 years and $48.3 million would be fully guaranteed. Charania noted that even the more lucrative new potential agreement would essentially include a subliminal understanding that the contract is more trade asset than commitment to a partnership, with Kuminga and the Warriors both apparently ready to move on from each other after 4 seasons. 3 scenarios for Kuminga. Golden State sources confirmed to Sam Amick of The Athletic that Kuminga's offer had indeed been increased. Amick lays out the 3 contract possibilities for Kuminga at this point in a new piece. In the first hypothetical, Kuminga could accept a 1-season, $7.9 million qualifying offer prior to the October 1 deadline, which would essentially give him a no-trade clause and allow him to become an unrestricted free agent next year, and control his own destiny. Aaron Turner, Kuminga's agent, has indicated that the former lottery pick is leaning towards this qualifying offer scenario unless Golden State guarantees the 3rd year of the deal. Per Amick, another possibility is that Kuminga could take one of the updated Warriors offers that's been tendered his way and tries again to carve out a consistent lineup role. Again, this seems to hinge on the 3rd year of the deal. Golden State has thus far rejected multiple sign-and-trade offers for Kuminga's services from rival teams. According to Amick, the Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings are both still interested in Kuminga. Perhaps the Warriors will re-engage in these talks, after already ending negotiations this offseason.